Virginia here with Jenny Lee Gems. I am going to show you how to make a pine needle earring. I'd never heard of it before, but a friend of mine asked me to make a video on it. So I worked on it, figured out what I wanted. I'm kind of stuck on rainbow right now. I've gotten some rainbow basket bottoms ordered, so I've been working on that, and I thought, well, what a great way to use my rainbow thread. So here is the first one, and I'm going to try to make a similar one. And they look really cute on too. They're very colorful. So I love color. I'll put that away. But here are the rainbow basket bottoms I made. They're still drying. I put them out of the forms this morning, and they've been drying. We lost power, so it's been kind of cold in here. So I made one heart, so that's kind of rainbowy. The back side looks a little more psychedelic. And then I did some round ones. That looks like a sun, and I don't know what that is, but it's just kind of psychedelic, and they kind of ran together. So anyhow, here's a few. This one I like the best. I think I might keep it for myself. At any rate, I'm kind of stuck on rainbow right now, and I'm going to make another rainbow earring and show you how I did it. So, first of all, we have to tie 3 sets of pine needles. So that gives us 9 to start with, which I thought was a lot, but these are really thin needles. These have been soaked, and also they were dyed. They're kind of dyed a mustardy yellow, but they're also very supple because they've been glycerined. So what I've been told, and the way I did that one, was to just pull the caps off. Once they're soaked, they come off really easy. And so that kind of leaves them a little bit intact. Now, this feels like a lot of needles, but that's what I used on that, and it seemed to work. So that's what we're going to do. So just tie it off as you normally do. I usually create a double knot because I really want them to stay on there. And just leave a little bit of the tail showing. Now see, they're already slipping around. Let me try that again. They are a little slippery because they're wet, but we can work with that. So I'll tie them again, tie them really tight. Now I'm going to tie another knot just because I like to. Now, the book I was reading, one of them said, just cut the tail off here. I'm not going to do that yet because I want to cut it a little further down. I'll cut a little further down and then bury them in the pine needles. Okay, so these are real supple, and it's good because we're going to have to, you see all the twists and turns in this. So the other thing I was going to tell you is you can use this same pattern to do a basket bottom and not have to have a center. It's the same type of thing that I did for this little basket, which shows a bunch of different stitches on it. So you could use it for a basket bottom. You could make an earring. You could make a necklace. In fact, I might make a necklace to match. So I'm going to leave a bit of a tail here, and I'm just going to trim it even. Don't need to, but really tight because you don't want it falling off. Okay, and I think I'll cut this off so it doesn't get too much in the way, but I want a tail here to pull it tight and to keep it snug. Okay, so I am right-handed. I work with my coils this way to the right sometimes and sometimes to the left. I am going to do what people consider the proper way and work to the left, but I'll show you also with the coil to the right for you left-handers. So here we go. You have your little tie off here, and I'm leaving a little end there so I have something to grasp onto. And back to front, just wrap over. Now, This is a rainbow thread. It's a flat thread. And it works great for this project. But you have to be very careful because the needle flies off a lot. And that's a little frustrating. I'm looking for my little... Instead of having these flop around, I have these little thin straws. The gauges won't fit on these because they're too thick. The gauges are too thick. This is too thin. So you just keep wrapping like this for 2.5 inches according to the instructions. Now these are not earring instructions. I just kind of made up this pattern myself, but this is what I want it to look like in my head. So I found a description of how to do it, of how to create a basket bottom like this and follow the right pattern. So the other way you could do it is wrap it, or you can just twist it like this, which sometimes is a bit easier. Twist, twist, twist. Losing my needles over there. These are long, beautiful needles that I got from Gail George. I love her needles. They come from Florida. And so this is what I like to use when I'm dyeing. They seem to take the dye really well. These are mustardy yellow. And yeah, it goes much faster. It's much easier this way. Why didn't I do this in the first place? I guess I did a little bit. But you see how this flat thread just lays nice and flat. Every once in a while, you're going to have to untangle it because as you're twisting, it does tangle up a little bit. But I love the way it lays flat. Hope you could see what I'm doing. I'm just twisting it. So I'm supposed to get 2.5 inches. That looks about right. Here's my trusty little tape measure. Let me just finish the red off. Try to keep it. I'm not an exact person, but I tend to follow patterns a little bit. Boy, even the straw is loose. So there, let's finish the red. Okay, we're down to the orange. I'm just going to lay it flat, measure it out. That is pretty close. I need about another 1/4 inch. So sometimes I have tape measures just taped to the table, but after they get messed up, I take them off. So that looks like about another 1/4 inch. I'm just going to double check it. I'm sure it's close though. Yep, that's good. And it's kind of loosening up, so I'll tighten it up. So once you've done that, take your needle. Boy, those colors sure look pretty, don't they? Take your needle and go from back to front and just secure those threads right there. Now you see these are very pliable. Secure the threads right there at 2.5 inches. Okay. And I'm making sure this is all intact here. Okay. Then, well, I was going to fold that in, but that's okay. I'll cut it off in a minute. I'm just going to leave it because I don't want to mess with it yet. And it's not bothering anything. I want to make sure it's there so I can keep tightening. So you're supposed to fold this in thirds. That's how you get the little design going there. And you've got to fold it over. So it's 2.5 inches, folded in thirds. I think I'm going to go right about here. Now I'll leave those tips. They're not really the tips, but I'll leave the light part in for a bit. I'm going to trim it, but I'll leave it in. So fold it over. And then I'm going to trim them so that, and I do leave that much showing. So they're a little yellow, so they fit right in. And then I am going to go fold it over another. Okay. So now you are supposed to come from the back and you go about 1/3 through the bottom coil and secure that down. So now it's attached. So see, this area up here is a little loose, but I'm going to fix that. They don't talk about it in the instructions, but I fixed it on the other one because I can't stand it being loose out there. So there you go, back to front, and then you continue wrapping. So what I did on that earring was every 5 I stitched down below. So see, you're coming right through there. Boy, these are long pine needles and they're just kind of in the way, but we're okay. Here we go. So just wrap, and I am going to wrap 5. I'll put my over here because it's just getting in the way. 5, 4, 5. So I'm going to wrap 5 times around. So you don't have to wrap. You can just take stitches every 1/4 of an inch and let the pine needle show. I wanted this rainbow pattern. Now I'm going to have to snug that up a bit. That's okay. It's snugging. Okay. So now the next time I go around, I'm going to go to the back so I could see where I am going through. You're supposed to go through the needles, which I ordinarily don't do, but go through the needles and secure it. And then start wrapping again. We're going to leave this little wild tail out there. So it will start, you know, you will lose a little bit of the coverage here, but that's okay, because once you keep going around, you're going to get more coverage. So here we go again. I'm sorry, I have to lift it up because the needles are so long. And I lost my little... Okay, so that was 5, I think. So then if you can tell without flipping it over, you could just push through about 1/3 of the way down that little teeny coil, but you know, I got some skin there too. Okay, here we go. It's a little hard to get going because it's so small, but once it gets going, you start seeing the pattern form. And there. So now I'm going to bend these gently because I don't want them breaking. Kind of form them. And if you really have a problem, you can form them and let them sit a minute. You know, let them sit with a little clip on it or something. Okay, I'll do one more. Set of 5. And it's very small. It's very intricate. You really have to be in there. Okay, and then you go back to front. Secure it down. It really creates a nice pattern. So the instructions said to follow your outline here of your stitches so your stitches can go straight up. I didn't do that. I went Willy Wonka in here because I wanted the colored stitches to show on top of the other colors. So you could choose how you want to do that, but just attach it about every 1/4 inch or so, especially that the basket's this small right now. So, okay, I'm going to work my way around a little bit, and when I get back to this part, I'm going to show you how I'm securing that tail. I did this in the last earring, and I just felt better, like it's more secure. They leave it loose like that, but I don't know. I like things tightened down. So I'll show you when I get that far. Okay?